everybody, I'm Kelly Hogan and welcome to my Zero Carb Life. I have a lot more friends with me today. These folks that you see on the screen are some of the most brave, awesome people ever, because less than 24 hours ago, I said, hey, if you're in my April groups and would like to share what's been working for you this month, let's record together tomorrow. And these jokers actually said yes, here they are. I'm so excited. So I have not paid any of them off. I didn't tell them what to say. I know, darn, maybe next time. I actually have no idea what they're going to say. I will be as surprised as you are, but here's my hope, everybody. I hope that by hearing what's working right now for real people, that you can watch and get ideas. And we do this, all of you in the groups right now know that we do this weekly, right? What's working, so that I can take notes and be like, okay, perfect. And it might help somebody else too. So, Amy, what is working for you this month?
Well, let me give you a little background. So 3 years carnivore, initially down 30 pounds. Enjoyed the non-scale victories for 2.5 years. My body healed because I had 35 plus years of dieting damage, yo-yo dieting and everything. So this January, I joined a gym. I've been going 3 times a week. I walk several times a day with my dog, Duke. If you don't walk, get a dog.
Yes.
And you have to go out. I added fish, sardines, 2 times a week. Body was changing, but weight did not. After months of learning, maybe years, but learning about the TDEE.
Yeah.
I switched to Carb Manager, love that, and I've been really honing in on my calories. So since January, I am down 6 pounds. What's worked for me is the calories. What do we always hear? You can't manage what you don't measure.
Right.
And so I've been tracking calories. They've been a better measure for me day to day versus ketones. In April, I think I down 2 to 3 pounds. So it's here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. And for
Yes.
somebody watching who thinks, gosh, in a month you only lost a few pounds, 2 to 3 pounds. This is not Amy's beginning of the journey. She had already lost weight. And then if you have been to the point before, then 2 to 3 pounds in a few weeks is a big deal. Do you feel like do you feel really hungry a lot? Does this feel restrictive or anything?
No, it doesn't. It's just being more mindful because I like to have like whipped the tallow bites with a little bit of vanilla, like as my dessert. And usually I would have 3. And now I'm like, all right, let me look at my calories and like, oh, I can only have 1.5 tonight, which still is, satisfying. I don't know where I got caught up on having, like the 3 bites, but just being more mindful of things like that. That's been really helpful. One other thing that I've been reflecting on this month, I have my little cheat sheets here, is the fear of reaching the goal weight. And I did reach out to one of my other class members in our Wednesday group, Allie. I reached out to Allie and I'm like, what do you think of this? The fear of reaching the goal weight. I've lost weight before, I've gained it all back plus, and am I subconsciously thinking like, I don't want to get to the goal weight? I mean, have, like I said, non-scale victories, but that fear of getting to that maintenance point or where at my goal weight and then just rebounding, back plus. So I've been really thinking about that lately, and maybe subconsciously I stalled because of that fear and the attention that comes with, family, friends noticing. And so that's like more pressure and things like that. And just to be acknowledged from the weight loss success. So I just want to say, Kelly, I'm losing that fear because I know with the TDEE and like there's that maintenance number, like there it is. So that's all I have to think about it. I don't have to think about the fear of, gaining back. So thank you. So it's been an amazing month.
Oh, Amy, that's fantastic. I love that you're even going a little deeper. It's not just the numbers and the calories. It's really thinking about your mindset and the fear that could be preventing you from getting there and letting that go. And
Yes.
just trusting I'm eating
Yes.
an appropriate amount. I'm going to also weigh an appropriate amount, and it's going to be okay.
Yes.
I'm
Thank you.
excited for you, Amy. Thank you. Karen Miles, you're to my right, at least on my screen. What you doing this month?
First of all, I have a bingo. I have lots of people I know on the screen. We play a bingo game in our group on Wednesday night.
And
Bingo.
it's people you've met in person, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So Kelly, myself, that's cheating, Amy and Jackie. So bingo. Okay. What have I been doing different? I've been doing the TDEE, which is the total daily energy expenditure. You plug these numbers in, your age, your height, your weight, at your activity level, and it tells you how many calories you should eat. So I've been tracking that for not quite 4 months, and I was losing weight, losing weight, losing weight. And then I started looking, I journal everything and I track all my calories. I use my net diary. And I was talking to Kelly about, the calories and all this stuff. So then I said, Kelly said, what'd you do the day before? How many calories and what'd you weigh the next morning? So I started looking at that. So I made a spreadsheet, plugged in the calories I ate from like today, and then I weigh myself tomorrow morning and I put that right next to it. So what I ate last night and what I weighed this morning, and I put that on there. I started looking and looking. I'm like, holy cow. First I flipped through my book, then I put it all in a spreadsheet to look at it. And I put mark if I went up or down on my weight.
Yeah.
And I went down on my weight when I ate more calories. Now in the TDEE, I was just putting light activity, even though I was playing pickleball 3 days a week and lifting and walking and occasionally biking and hiking and kayaking and snowshoeing, I still put light. Well, Kelly's been saying, you're so active, you're so active. So I changed it to moderate. And now I'm able to eat 200 more calories a day. So I am happier now.
Yes.
And the scale is going down because I'm eating enough. Now, beforehand, I'm in my 5th year of carnivore. Beforehand, I ate kind of whatever I want. I lost weight. And then the last 2 years, I gained 19 pounds. I was upset because I wanted to fit into some clothes, my pickleball skirts from a couple of years ago. So that's what my goal was, to get into my pickleball skirt. And because of Audrey, I tried it on the other day and I fit in it. I'm happy. But so I didn't lose all 19 yet. I have I think I have 8.5 more pounds to go to hit that 19 loss. So I'm pretty dang happy. And since I've dialed it in the last 2 weeks, it's moving at a nicer pace. So I'm pretty happy with that.
All right, Karen, I'm so excited for you to share this. In fact, I'm going to have a similar sheet for my group members this coming month that they can track also and print it out if they want. But you had noticed a trend. When I eat too little, the scale does not move. If I eat way too much, the scale goes up. But there's this beautiful happy, we're calling it the sweet spot. I've got to find a new name for that, right? We're not real into sweets around here. This beautiful, perfect spot where you noticed that's where your body just tends to release body weight. And how could you possibly know that if you aren't tracking anything? So I'm just so happy for you that number is more. Yeah, baby.
Me
Yes.
too. It's amazing.
If anybody's going to mark themselves as moderately active, my queen, it's going to be you. Yeah, I love it. Karen, thank you. And I know from Instagram already, so many people have been inspired by what you have been doing, that they're now doing it too. So I hope folks who are watching will also follow you. I'll link to everybody who wants to be linked down below, and keep following as you're trying this thing. And you've been doing it for several weeks now. This isn't like in 5 minutes ago I decided no. So thanks, Karen. It's great.
Thank you.
Welcome. Hey, Jackie Jam, what's working right now?
Hey, good morning. I do have to run off to work, but I wanted to just share that, this last year has been really a struggle for me, really tough. But I never, ever stopped coming to your meetings. And that is what's made a difference, because I haven't given up or, just gone back to eating all the bad things. Instead, I've learned so much about tracking and how I was not tracking the right way. So I really wasn't eating enough a lot of times. And that sounds like, oh yeah, everybody's that way. They don't eat enough. But when you really find out that you haven't been, it's like a miracle. Like, what? I can eat more food and I don't have to be so nitpicky about every little, the calories do count, even though in the first year of carnivore, I didn't count a single calorie, but I steadily lost weight. But then you hit this plateau thing that is very, disheartening because you want to just go all the way. And of course, your body might have things to fix still. And I'm sure that after 60 years of eating wrong, bad, whatever, that I have a lot of things to fix. So I have to give my body time to do that, but also fuel it with enough fuel. By the way, I love your burger patty math because I am not a big steak person. I am a burger patty bacon person. So a little bit less bacon, Jackie, a little bit more burger patties, and I'm like in my sweet spot. I don't know, maybe bacon spot. I don't know. I don't know what you're going to call it, but I'm so happy because I am not where I was last winter when I wasn't doing so well. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm so happy for your groups.
Oh,
You keep people going, really, you do. And thank you so much, Kelly.
I know you're going to have to go, but it's powerful for people to hear. The answer is not always eat less, eat less, eat less. Like
No.
haven't we all been there, tried that? Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Is the answer sometimes eat a little less? Well, Karen just said in her case, sometimes it is, right? But not less and less and less.
No.
Finding where it's enough. Awesome. Thanks, Jackie. I love you. It's great. Angie Jenkins. Well, you are not new to this carnivore thing. Not at all. So anytime somebody has been doing carnivore as long as you have, which we're talking almost 20 years, right? 20-ish years. And
this is 19th year. Yes. 19th.
Somebody been doing it that long, and then they say, and I found something new that's working even better. I am all ears, babe. What's going on?
Well, I was finally given the clearance, I suppose, from my doctor that I no longer need to be classed as epileptic.
Congrats.
And for me, I haven't been on the meds for a very long time. I haven't been on any of my other meds for a very long time. However, I still had to tick that box. Do I suffer from something?
Yeah.
And I had to tick epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't had a seizure for a long time. And he's finally said, oh, yeah, you're not epileptic anymore. You clearly haven't had a seizure for such a long time.
Yeah.
So my journey has been very high fat, as most of you that know me know. It's been very high fat, which means I eat quite small portions.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only when you got me tracking and I was, I fight it. I do fight it. And I tracked and I thought, well, no, we're going to have a big duck leg for dinner. Put it in and it's 250 calories. And that's dinner. I eat 3 times a day. That's ridiculous. It's not enough.
Yeah.
However, before I would have just added a load of fat to it and just had that. So I am satisfied with the volume of just a big duck leg. And I said to you, it's not enough because now I'm trying to get those fat calories down. That's my tweak. That is my tweak to really seriously get them down, not to low, no, at least over 60 at least, but they've been 80.
So instead of having smaller portions, but 80-20, meaning 80% of calories coming from fat.
Yes.
Now you've lowered the fat closer to 60, which I know everybody on the screen knows, but maybe people at home don't know. For the same amount of calories, if you have lowered the fat to 60, suddenly your portions look much bigger. Now you're getting more protein and a bigger hunk of duck instead of, duck with just the butter. And right now that's sounds like really satiating to you and your body. It's agreeing with you and you've leaned out a little more, you've told me.
I can eat now a massive amount of food. For me, I'm only 5'1". And I can actually eat a lot more food and it feels pretty good.
Awesome. I know that now your mantra would be you're eating more, you're moving more. You are also a walking goddess. You walk a lot. And I love that. Eat more, move more. Angie Jenkins, I'm really honored that you came on here today. Thank you. That was great. Yeah, I wish everybody could eat more, move more. It's awesome.
I do you know, if I can, I'm 65 years old, and if I can, then anybody can.
Thanks, Angie. Appreciate it. Hey, Tammy Reichard, would you rather me wait and come back to you when you arrive?
Now it's fine. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. What's working for you, Tammy?
Well, I'm just going to be short and sweet. And honestly, it's slowing down and chewing my food more and taking time. I have been a volume eater since I can remember. And just by slowing down and waiting after I eat what should be a good portion of food, it takes me about a half hour and I calm down and I have not been overeating, and I've been doing this for about 4 weeks. I've lost about 4 pounds, but I'm just really trying to learn to slow down because I can hoof it down and way overeat. So that's what's been helping me.
Oh, that's a good tip. It's good for people who are struggling with digestion. If you have either constipation or loose stools, chewing really thoroughly and allowing your saliva to break down the food in the mouth. People with low stomach acid, that's helpful. For us volume eaters who wolf it down, I'm a wolfer too, Tammy. We have to really just slow and focus on the chewing. That's a good one. Thank you. Awesome. Kathy, what's your tip? What's working right now?
So I started in January and was doing good, losing. And I was in your March class and you were talking about the TDEE. And I think I did it. I set it up. Everything was fine. And then, and still losing. Beginning of April in your class, someone had said something about, well, when do we adjust it? If you lose 10 pounds or when it stops or whatnot. So in my mind, I'm thinking, adjust it. Maybe I'll lose a little faster. Well, then I stalled. Well, my version of stalling for like 2 weeks, I'd go up a pound, down a pound, up a few ounces, down a few ounces. So I'm like, well, this is crazy. So it wasn't moving and staying moved. So I turned around and went back to what I originally had as my TDEE because it was still working. Yeah. And I think now that I upped it a little bit more, my calories, which I'm happy for because I love food, yes. It's starting to move again. And I'm so thankful for that. Yeah.
How cool was that? I tell people all the time that one of the most common things I hear is I had to eat a little more in order for the scale to move. And I really think people don't believe that. So I'm so happy that more people are saying it. That's good. Did you hear that, people? Did you hear that?
Yes.
Kathy, I'm happy for you too. As someone that loves to eat, that's my favorite thing to hear. I ate some more and it's working. Great. Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Hey, Tammy, what's working for you, Tammy?
Hi, Kelly, and hello, everybody. A little bit of background. I'm a cancer survivor that came out of chemo and cancer. My cancer had a 5-year survival rate, and I'm 22 years in. So they kicked my butt with chemo, which meant I survived the cancer, but it destroyed everything in its path. So everything from my thyroid to I was a seizure person too. And I had horrible neuropathy. And it's one of those things that left me on 18 years of Oxycontin and Dilaudid and stuff. So to just barely be able to walk. So I was a total disaster metabolically. So fast forward a little bit, I've been carnivore pretty much 4 or 5 years now. Long story short, this last year was a little rough. I've had 7 shoulder surgeries. So my activity level went from really high to really low. Had a family member pass and things like that. So it was just my learning of this month coming in this group was, first of all, Kelly, you're just a breath of fresh air and you're just like, I don't know, it was just perfect. And everybody here was so uplifting and so nice, but it was so nice to regroup and learn things. But the stress level and the cortisol in my life right now was so high that I just kind of needed to hit pause for a moment and regroup. And when I went over to that TDEE and figured out my calories and all those kind of things, it was like a wake up call of, holy cow, I can't even believe how little or how far under my calories I was. And it was just, I thought I was just stressed out, didn't feel good, didn't anything. And then I started checking that and it was like, wow, I really need to just regroup and catch it. So it was just, that was so nice. The other thing is the sweet spot, you call it. Over in our group, we call it the meat spot. So it's the meat spot instead of the sweet spot.
Beautiful.
So find your meat spot. But again, my weight started finally coming down again because I've just been under so much stress and I've gained so much. So those things were just little things that were such eye-opening experiences for me. So thank you to all of you, and Kelly, especially for you, for being a breath of fresh air on a stressful time in life. So thank you.
I'm so honored that you were in the group and that you came on here to share what's working, and you know your stuff. So that means a lot to me. Dana Barker. Hi. Oh my gosh. You are one of those people where as soon as I see your face in class, I've told you before, I look to you a lot in class because you give me a lot of feedback. It's so good. So what's working?
I love this for one thing. I've been with you, Kelly, now. I think this is my 14th or 15th month. I've been carnivore for about 18 months. And in 1 month, I will be 68. Wow. So it was time for me to, change what was happening in my life, joint pain and things like that. But what I've learned this month, the TDEE, I was one of those reluctant to track and things like that. Like Amy said, the trauma of, Weight Watchers points and all of that. Nope. I want easy. I want smooth, all like that. Well, I did do my TDEE. I am the opposite of most all of you. I am a volume eater, but I was overeating, and it was catching up with me. I had been losing fine. I was losing until about last 6 weeks, and I gained 6 pounds. And because of what Karen had posted about what had been happening to her, it was like, screech, I need to stop and really get serious about that TDEE and using Carb Manager. So I started tracking. Now my goal is, I've always, every month on my habit tracker, more movement. Yeah, I'm not as good as Kelly and Karen for sure on the movement, but this has given me the impetus to increase my movement so I can increase my calories.
Right.
So I can eat more like I like to, and I know I will still lose weight and things. And I would like to lose about 12 to 15 more pounds and stuff to be at my goal. So I am on that lower end, but that it was like, okay, I finally got on board, with the TDEE and the tracking. That's what's worked for me in April.
And I have heard you share how it's your, what'd you say, 18 months or so of carnivore? Have helped you in so many ways. But when it gets down to that last 12 pounds, you didn't have to track or use a TDEE to get more mental sharpness or mental clarity or to improve your overall health. But when it comes down to that last bit of weight, I'm so happy it's helping. That's great.
Me too.
Yeah, Dana, I'm pulling for you. I love you, sister. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks. Thank you, Kelly.
Happy David. This is not your first time on the My Zero Carb Life channel. Welcome back.
Thank you. So hello, everyone. So happy to be here. I am 72. I'm the old one of the group, I guess, of here.
And by the way, that was one of the most common comments on that first video you did with me. It was people going, no, she's not. That's what she says.
So I'm 2+ years carnivore. My total weight loss is 75 pounds, and I've had great success, but very slow success. Slow. So what's been working recently is I used a new TDEE calculator recently, and I've been tracking a long time. I mean, I've been tracking for over a year, and I've been sticking with what that told me my TDEE was. And sometimes I've lost weight, and other times I've just kind of stayed the same. Well, what's recently happened was, and in that 2.5 years, I had a 10 to 11 month no loss of pounds. I had other things happen, but no loss of pounds. So I got through it. With Kelly's help in the group, I got through it. I've never strayed. I've never cheated. I mean, I've gotten through it. So what's recently happening is okay, I'm tracking. And then a few weeks ago, I get this new TDEE calculator, and oh, I noticed that it's giving me a few more calories. And oh, by the way, all of a sudden there's a 3-month no loss. So I'm like, oh, no, 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 we're not going there again.
Yeah.
We're not doing another 10 to 11 month stall or maintenance, as Bruno says. So my TDE, it gave me more calories. And it also was around the same time that Karen started her thing. So I started looking at it as Karen did. And I'm like, well, darn, maybe I've been under eating all this time. So because it was a few more calories, I added the few more calories. And of course, guess what? The scale is starting to move. Yay.
Yes.
So short but sweet, but TDEE, I've been tracking for a long time. I was staying within my range, and not much was happening. So this new, how many times have we heard Kelly say, track it, eat more, and people start losing? We've heard it so many times, and I'm so grateful that it finally sunk in. I'm a slow learner, slow weight losser, but I'm really excited. So more to come, but that's what's working for me right now. And I'm very excited, very, very excited.
So Kathy, I think the big takeaway from what you just said is not exactly which calculator you use, but it's a matter of if you try that and that's not working, like for long periods of time, then you can make an adjustment. And as Karen did, use your own body's feedback, right?
Yeah.
Take a look at what it's doing. How did that level of calories affect your sleep, your moods, even bowel movements, your weight, everything? And then use that to adjust how you go forward. I love that.
Yes. And you really need to listen to your body. So when I made this change, I was watching my sleep, watching my bowel move. I mean, I was watching everything, and there were changes, and my body really was talking to me. And I guess before I had the earplugs in or something, I don't know.
Well, if you're not writing it down, it's really difficult to find trends if you aren't keeping track of any data, right? We're just all, blind leading the blind, just stumbling in the dark. Great job, Kathy. I'm so excited for you. And you've already had so many great successes before this, but I'm just cheering you on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Laurie, what's new with you?
Well, I've been on carnivore since August of last year, and I am also a very slow loser myself. I've had extreme levels of cortisol and stress over a good portion of maybe 6 months. And so I went into a stall. And so what I decided to do, well, one thing I will say is what Carnivore's been doing this whole time is allowing me to deal with stress better. So I feel like the stress levels have been higher, but I've been able to deal with it better or calmer. So I guess having a clearer head and understanding that, I'm going through this stuff and working through it. And so I have started drinking socially, or was drinking socially, and it began to get a little more and a little more and a little more. And so what I decided to do was to stop it completely. And I was on vacation in the beginning of this month. And when I got back from vacation, I completely stopped it. I got back on track. And within a week of coming back, I lost 6 pounds. And so I've managed to kind of stay within that 6 pounds, and I'm feeling better. And I've had people tell me that I don't know what you're doing, but you're glowing. And, your skin's looking better and stuff like that. And so that has definitely made a difference. I also find that if I eat 3 meals a day, I feel better than when I eat 2. And that's because I tend to undereat.
Right. Laurie, I'm glad you said that. For people who struggle to get in enough food, many of them are only eating 1 to 2 times per day. And they're like, how can I get in so much food? I'm like, eat breakfast, right? There's this thing called breakfast. So cutting out the alcohol, Laurie, a lot of people struggle with that one. They'll tell me, I have many people who have messaged to say, I would go carnivore. I could do it, except for the alcohol.
And it's not the fruity sweet drinks. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing any sugars. You know, I either stick to like a very white, like rum or something like that with Pellegrino,
Right.
you know, or a dry red wine, although they all taste sweeter now. It's very weird. Everything is sweeter. But nope, I'm still going. However, I will have a seltzer water. So that's also what kind of helps me kind of sit there and not have it, you know, think of like, oh, you know, I'd like to have a drink right now, you know, to relax, because I still have stress daily in my life. And that was always something to take that edge off. Just one drink. I know, not necessarily excessively. So that's something that I've been learning how to do without substances of you know, of a sort.
Yes, I love that you're relying on just feeling the feelings, having a seltzer. By the way, I'm having a seltzer right now. It is called All Day Rosé. It does sort of taste like a little wine spritzer. I don't drink alcohol at all. I, like you, Lori, found even as a carnivore, when I did have it occasionally, it did not help my results. It did not make my skin look better. My sleep wasn't better. The scale would go up, and I cut it out too. So seltzers can really, you know, it's just carbonation, natural flavors. I know not everybody can have them, but I can. So I'm with you, Lori. Thank you for sharing that. I hope somebody hears it, and maybe it'll encourage them to cut it out. All right. Thanks, Lori. Hi, Irene.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It's good to be with you, and it's good to be able to share with you. Kelly, I call you the Queen of Hope, and blow hope into our lives. And so I appreciate that very much. You've meant a lot. Wow. So thank you for that. So some of the things that have helped is, one is just consistently tracking, where I just like what was talked about, where, oh, I'm going to go, I grabbed this and ate that. So, oh, I don't know if I want to track that. So maybe I'm not going to track today, you know? So it's helped to just become consistently tracking no matter what, and just staying completely carnivore for me. Just, okay, this is what I've said on my habit tracker I'm going to do. I'm going to eat animal products, period. I think the other right now, just because of Karen's testimony, I'm in the process, because I've just been with you for 2 months, Kelly, in that I'm just tracking my data. I've got the TDEE, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what happens when this day happens? In the process of this 2 months, my weight had stalled out like well over a year ago. So that stall has broken, and it's amazing, just the little tweakings that you need. And it takes a group sometimes, and your coaching, just to find those little tweaks, because we hear it from each other. It's not just from you, Kelly, it's from each other.
Irene, we are thrilled for you. You've tried some really great things. You've been at this a while, and it's paying off. And I'm just so happy for you. You have a beautiful soul, my friend. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Nanette and Craig. I know that you two could be your own entire hour-long episode on this channel. You two have had a lot of benefits from carnivore, but what's new with y'all right now?
So we're both 59. I'll give a little background to those who aren't in our group. And we've been on this ancestral health, eliminating all the bad things that make our life bad for 30 years. About 10 to 15 years ago, I've had the same gut issues as my daughter with autism. But I started to have all the things, getting a rheumatoid arthritis diagnosis, fibromyalgia. What is it? Had a hysterectomy. Whenever they do a test of anything, no diagnosis, really just everything's inflamed. So that's my history.
Okay.
And within the last 4 or 5 years, I've been dealing a lot with extreme anxiety. One of my big issues over these past 10 years has been extreme memory problems. I mean, I'm only 59, about 55, and here I am, extreme memory. Like, this sounds like my mom, this felt like what my mom's dementia was, I could see. When I went carnivore, all of that disappeared. I mean, my brain, just no more of those moments.
Yeah.
All of my pains disappeared. So the reason we joined Kelly's group this January, we had another extreme stress that involved my mom and her memory care situation, my family. And we said, we got to do it. We were so bad. we were bad. And our weight was getting out of control. Our pains were back. And we've been following you, Kelly, for years. And we said, we need a tribe, we need support. And it has been the little magic button. And just for me, part of the reason it's helped so much is because I'm an honest person. And if I'm going to be in this group once a week, am I coming as a carnivore is going to tell you all my successes and kind of hide what I did wrong? Or am I going to come like fully be able to talk to you about what I've done? You know, so that's been huge. And the thing over the past month that I'd say that I want to share specifically, TDEE, I thought I never want to track. I'm kind of a little OCD, and I'm like, lists are like my enemy because if they aren't perfect, I'll get obsessed by them. And my goal in life is to live in the moment, not to be obsessed by things, you know, and be distracted from the moment by things like that. But okay, my weight wasn't going down the way it was 2 years ago. So I did the TDEE and I was under eating like so many.
Yes.
But the thing that over this past month, you've really instilled in me is that my issue is with anxiety, is with parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system. I never thought about under eating as contributing to that sympathetic response that my body thinks I'm not safe. And I'm like, I've done all this work to put myself in a parasympathetic place, but I didn't know that that was something I wasn't addressing. I was still of the mindset that I need to go to bed hungry to lose weight, to get to the weight I want to, that, you know, you don't want to overeat. And now I make sure I don't go to bed hungry. So that's made all the difference. My weight is slowly creeping back down to where I want it to be. So that's what I wanted to share with you today.
That's great. I'm so glad your mental clarity is coming back and your spark is there. I just love it when you share in the groups and that you're eating enough and focusing on nourishing and that you aren't going to bed hungry. I got to tell you, I hate going to bed hungry. And I used to make myself do it too. I couldn't sleep as well. I didn't feel as good. And it's like, it's hard to lay down your little head and go to sleep when you're hungry. I wouldn't do that to my children. When I make them go to bed hungry, they say, but Mom, I'm really hungry for some bacon. Baby, let's get some bacon, right? But we used to do it to ourselves. So thank you, Nanette. Hey, Craig, what's up with you?
Well, I see I'm the only man on here, so I guess I'm comfortable talking about my feelings.
Do it.
For years and years, Nanette would always say, how do you feel about that? And I'd give her the typical blank stare. When you talk about stress, we have a lot of stress with our daughter, a lot of stress going on. When you talked about stress and feelings and sitting with things, it clicked this month. It's like the light bulb went on. I was like, wow, okay. Then I'm like, that's what you've been telling me all these years. So it really clicked, and it's been very helpful for me. An example would be, we had yesterday we had to go to the courthouse for our annual guardianship paperwork, and it's stressful. And now it's time for us to eat. And I was like, all I want to do is order a pizza. And it's like, I got to sit there and go, and I even came out and said, all I want to do is order a pizza. And my little mind's hoping she'd go, me too. And be like, okay, it's not my decision. Nanette wants to do that. And she just kind of looked at me, and I go back about my business. And I'm like, but why? Why do I want to order pizza? Thankfully, the cravings are completely gone. I never understood cravings until they were gone, how that drove me to eat and everything. But now they're gone. I'm like, wow, I used to, and I don't do that anymore. So it wasn't I wanted pizza. I just wanted the ease of pizza.
Yeah.
So what do I have in the fridge to cook for us? I had 2 ribeye steaks. How hard is it to cook ribeye steaks? You turn the grill on, you put them on the grill, you get them off the grill, you throw them on a cutting board. I've got a couple dirty utensils and a couple of cutting boards. And my whole mind shift was like, oh, I don't want pizza. We're having steak, and we had a wonderful meal.
Yeah, the feeling of I want fast food. Well, that sounds convenient, right? What else is convenient? Burger patties in my air fryer is very convenient. That, you know, whatever that feeling is behind it, I bet that'll resonate with some people right now. If somebody's watching.
Kind of question behind the question, right? Why?
Yes. What am I wanting from that food right now? Now, in the beginning, it's a physical craving because you're
Yes.
withdrawing from it, but you're past that.
I'm
So
past that.
that's
Craving's gone. And that's why I was able, maybe that's part of why I was able to sit back and go, why? What's going on?
Yeah.
But again, it was in the last month meeting when you were going through that. And I don't know what you did differently, because I love being with you multiple months because you cover everything a little bit differently. And I get this same topic, I get stuff out of it differently every month. So it's really cool. But it just hit me and I'm like, oh, okay. So that was so helpful.
That's great. Thanks, Craig. I hope that hit somebody else just right today, too. Look for the emotion behind what it is you're looking for and fix that, not just with the food, but what it is you're wanting. Great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Craig. I love you both. Appreciate you. Cheryl, hi. What's working for you lately?
I've been doing this for 18 months. I came because I had psoriasis. And it was so bad, like so embarrassingly bad, that I was accused of having lice. Oh, because of how thick and crusty and like kind of white and scaly, and I would itch. So that's how I found Carnivore. Was looking for a way to take care of the psoriasis in a way that, because the other stuff was not happening, like injections, it all was like crazy, and it was lowering my immunity. It was a mess. Going carnivore, 45 days later, my skin was looking better than it had in years.
Yes.
And then the weight was dropping off, but then it stopped. And then when I started getting, and like I said, I was searching. So I found you, I found Dr. Chafee, I found Dr. Ken Berry, because, and they were all talking about autoimmune disorders and stuff like that, and about how eating this way helps it. So what I did notice was that when I started tracking and I started looking at symptoms, I was having some pain in my ankles.
Yes.
And couldn't sleep well on Sunday. When I went and looked and saw what I ate, well, you know what? I didn't have any beef that day. And I just realized that I would not have, if I wasn't tracking, I probably wouldn't have been able to put two and two together and say, wait a minute, girl.
Yeah.
So yesterday I made a chuck roast in the crock pot.
Nice.
And I had no problem sleeping.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Just keeping little, I tell you, if people have $1 to their name to spend, go to Walmart, get a spiral notebook, and take down some notes about how things are going. And if you're already tracking it in Carb Manager and you're putting dates here, compare, right? What happened when?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if I go without having much beef for a couple of days, I get a little bit meh, a little less happy. Like the shine dulls on me, and I have found that trend through the years. I know I need some beef. So I love chicken, I love pork, but I'm like you, beef is medicine for me, Cheryl. I'm glad tracking helped you figure that out. That's great.
Yes.
Thank you. Awesome. Hey, Hannah, what's new with you?
Hi. Well, one thing that's new with me is that I have discovered fasting, just trying things out. So I had done the bone broth fast and I had done the fat fasting, but actual water fasting I've tried, and I thought I would hate it. But you know what? It's not as bad as how I was living my life before. So I'm like, it's good.
And when you do a water fast, you've told me that you feel energized, you feel mentally clear and sharp, like it really suits your body. Is that right?
Correct. Yes. And which is surprising to me. I mean, besides feeling hungry at first, because there is a day where you feel hungry, but after that, I feel fine. And when I start not feeling fine, that's when I know it's time to end the fast.
Yeah.
So
I do
it's been a good thing.
That's so good. I'm so glad it's working for you. I find that for people who feel good, that extra energy, and I have people who say the best they ever feel is when they eat nothing. I don't relate to that because I don't feel good. However, when somebody says, oh my gosh, I feel so good when I do it, they do usually get great results from it because our healing should feel good. The people who fight through it, who power through it, like, oh, I don't feel good at all, they usually do not get positive results from it. So I think that's a great thing for people to hear when it comes to fasting. Your body will let you know if it's the answer right now. And it sounds like for you, Hannah, meat and not meat, right? Just
yes.
water.
All right. I guess you could say feast and famine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a cliched saying. But yeah, that's been working very well for me.
Good. Thank you, Hannah. That's awesome. All right, Stacy. Hey, I have been watching you on my Zoom classes for so long. Your smile, I just love you. And also, let me see this shirt, baby.
Oh,
Butter, bacon, and eggs. I love it. I love it. So, Stacy, what's working for you right now?
what is working the best for me is one, just the coaching groups, just being in the groups again, because honestly, I need the support and I need the gentle reminders, having, other members in the group to, get ideas and advice and just hear, their struggles and their victories is very inspiring and encouraging for me. And then on the more practical things, what I've been doing is I've moved my eating window earlier in the day. And I've always loved breakfast food, but I wasn't a breakfast person. I didn't like to eat as soon as I got up in the morning. And so what that's done is I'm getting what I need nutritionally and stopping eating earlier in the day. So I'm not having, food at, between like 5 and bedtime, because I had gotten myself to a point where I was, I was having like scrambled eggs or even bacon and things right before bed.
Yes.
And that was not helping me at all. I wasn't sleeping better. I wasn't getting, any of the progress that I wanted to make. And dialing back my fat a little bit has helped me a lot. So I've started to finally see the scale go down a little bit again. But more importantly, like my measurements are going down. So I've lost like 1.5 inches off of my waist and 3/4 of an inch off of my neck.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, Stacy, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Like I said, I've seen you for a long time and you're always, you don't speak up a lot in the group, so I don't always know how things are going, but you're always quick to smile at me. And I'm always like, I hope things are going great for Stacy. I'm so glad to hear that they are. I love you, friend.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that with.
Thank you.
All right. Upcoming last, Audra Coleman. Look at you. I just spent, by the way, for those of you watching, I spent the last couple of days hanging out with Audra. She's at a carnivore retreat right now. So thanks for logging on, even at the retreat. What's up, Audra?
You are so welcome. So I've been carnivore for 2 years and 8 months. In the beginning, the weight came off really good. I was doing really good with it. The skin tags went away. The mental clarity was absolutely amazing. I was seeing the energy. The weight was dropping. The clothes size was dropping. I was like, yes, 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 yes. Okay, now I'm kind of at a stall. And basically what I ended up doing now was I jumped on board with some of the tracking, with some of the TDEE, and I think I am potentially under eating at times. So I've been ramping it back up a little bit here and there. And the scale is starting to move again. So I'm really, really happy about that. I think community is where it's at to get with like-minded people. Like I said, I've been in your groups from day one, and I just think it's so inspirational, and talk to people who understand and who witness and have the same issues that you do and the same cravings and getting over all these hurdles. I mean, it is so beneficial. Like I said, in the beginning, the weight came off for me good. Then it's kind of slowed down. So sometimes you just need to change it up a little bit, maybe a little more fat, maybe some, protein sparing days, maybe some high fat days, kind of switch it up a little bit. And that's what I've been doing lately. I do not enjoy tracking. I'll be the first to admit it. So I kind of put it off. But then finally I was like, well, you know what? Kelly keeps telling me this. I got to go do it. So I went and did it. And now I'm starting to see some movement again. It's definitely worth trying for sure.
That's so cool. Thank you, Audra. Love you, sister.
I love you as well.
All right. All of these folks who are here today sharing. Again, I literally had no idea what they were going to say. I hope hearing what is working for real people. I heard a lot of folks say just tracking and making sure they're eating enough. We've heard folks say that they had to dial in macros a little differently, make sure that they are getting into their parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest, by not over-exercising and under-eating, dealing with emotions, emotional eating with Craig, just so many, I hope, helpful takeaways. And if nothing else, what I hope you'll take away from this is use your own life and your own results to guide you towards what works best and to have hope. Don't give up. Have hope to know that different tweaks work for different people, and that if you are blessed to be on this earth another day, hope abounds. Amen? Okay. And so how many of us here love to wake up and throughout the day eat meat? Yes. If any of you are looking for confirmation that other people thrive eating this way, here we are, baby. These smiling, beautiful, happy people are your fellow carnivores. This is them. We're out here. People are out here. And this is how we wake up and eat every day because it makes us feel our best. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.